OTEP family, this is your RBG brother, Guy Nollywood Jr. And today we're definitely coming at you with another exclusive program. So I think right now we're just going to wait until people just tune in, and we're just going to, then we'll start the program, making sure everybody get tuned in. It's going to be definitely a heavy program.
Yeah, got a nice show, man. Got some deep topics, some things, man. To talk.
Sir,
Whew.
yes, sir.
I've been waiting for a long time to speak on this too, man. That's why I know how this
Hmm.
is gonna be.
Oh
And
yeah, oh
I,
yeah. This gonna be heavy because it's got to be addressed. Has to be addressed.
yeah, yeah, man. I've been biting my tongue on this, man. That's why, man. The video that you gonna play is just something that I've been biting my tongue on, and sleeping with the enemy. Just when I think
Hmm.
about that term within itself, man, and I look at
Hmm.
the enemy of black people, bro. Like I feel like enough is said, but
Hmm.
unfortunately, all these Negroes, how they say the old saying, "All skin folk ain't your kinfolk."
That's true. That's true. That's a lot of truth in that.
Yeah, man. So
I don't trust nobody. I don't trust nobody that is quick enough to sleep with the enemy and they're gonna think they're black.
yeah,
That's not. We don't do things like that.
yeah, and these are black people, bro. Like,
I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out how's that helping our cause because this is a lack of loyalty. Lack of loyalty.
man,
Just
we got a deep
man,
history, bro. Like, I just would believe by now, in 2020, I mean, even with the coronavirus going on, that people will be waking up, man, like understanding. But unfortunately, with greed and corruption, it's like all skin folk ain't your kinfolk. And bro, we see, man, the fight that we're fighting, the war that we up against. We're in the middle of a war.
yep. Just
Right.
waiting for a few more minutes,
Okay.
and everybody tune in.
Yeah, people gonna definitely tune into this one, bro, at the end of the discussion because this one's hot, man. And it's just like even if they don't tune into the live stream, they gonna come back and watch this video, bro.
Hmm.
Trust me on that. You're gonna get views because we about to really, man, we about to talk about something that's just so deep to where like, man, sleeping with the enemy. Like,
Yeah, it's definitely something that need to be discussed. You know what I'm
bro,
saying? In a deep detail. You know.
man, who do you like? Okay, as far as the way it's going with black people, bro, who's the enemy? Like what I'm saying, me and you and brother Bakari and everybody that represent the RBG nation, we know who the enemy is. But
Hmm.
when we talk about some of these suckers out here, man, these people that are sleeping with the bro, who's the enemy? Like to them, like I just don't understand, man. Do we even as a people know who the enemy is? That's what I'm wondering.
Right. Hmm.
It don't seem like it.
That's true.
Don't seem like
All
it
right,
at all.
let's get it started. Uh, welcome. There's another exclusive program. Name of this program is "Sleeping with the Enemy." Um, the question I wanted to ask: um, Can you be pro-black and still sleep with the enemy? I think that's the question. Because a lot of black people, you got some black people that feel that you can still be pro-black and still wear your African garb and all that stuff and still sleep with the enemy. Uh, and it's kind of like you still they feel that well I'm not they still feel that they're not part of the problem. They're part of the solution. They thinking that some black people feel that well I'm trying to bring some harmony or some unite black and whites or anybody that's non-black into this big rainbow coalition type of thing. So I got my brother CJ, Prisoner of War Radio. Want him to introduce himself and brother, tell them where they can find you and
Yes, sir.
And let them know who you are, what you're about.
That's right. And man, this is gonna be one hell of a discussion because, man, first of all, I would like to, tip my hat to the greats. And when I say greats, we talking about black people who have laid down the foundation, the foundation that we as a people stand on to this day. All of the freedom fighters, man. And I'm sure that a lot of y'all out here, man, believe that, when we talk about freedom fighting in 2020, it's become something totally different. But when I say freedom fighters, when I say founders, just like the white man has his founding fathers, us as black people, we have our founding fathers and sisters, fathers and mothers. And I mean, brothers like Garvey, sisters like Harriet Tubman, brothers like Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X. I mean, people who laid the foundation. Bro, the list goes on and on and on and on and on. And all of us, our ancestors have been held captive as prisoners of war. And that's why I dedicated my entire platform based off of that. So I'm just happy to be here, bro. So I'm gonna let my brother, my brother Guy, just continue with the rest of the program. But thanks for having me.
I got no problem, man. And I got my brother Bakari on there, but I think he's probably in the middle of doing stuff. This always bothered me. Like, how do you feel about pro-blacks? These pro-black sleeping with the enemy. Can you be pro-black and sleep with the enemy? Like, how do you feel about that, CJ?
Well, first off, man, to Negroes who talk black and sleep white. Now, there's a whole list of these type of people. Now, if we look today, you got the Colin Kaepernicks, you got the Shannon Sharps, you got especially Shannon Sharp, because I was really, really, really disgusted when I found out that this man was talking black, sleeping white. Because the way that this brother, man, he gets up on, the sports talk show and he really goes hard. He goes hard for black people. And anytime, we having a black discussion about civil rights or, unarmed black people being gunned down in the middle of the streets by racist white supremacist cops, Shannon Sharp himself, he speaks out against it. So I'm just, at this point, I'm asking myself, man, this question. I mean, can you be pro-black and sleep white? I don't understand. I don't know.
But I always had this problem. How when you look at our ancestors, they never did that. I never heard Harriet Tubman sleeping white and fighting, against slavery. If you look at all the freedom fighters, they never slept white and still try to free their people. I mean, how's that work? How I never really understand. I would love to, and maybe I can, maybe if I would love to hear from a pro-black person that actually that's in an interracial relationship, but he's like Mr. Pro-black, because I would have liked to hear his reason, or hear her reason. I mean, how can you? I want to know, how does that work? How you can sit there and talk about the issues about racism in here in the United States and still sleep with the enemy? I mean, still sleep with the enemy. Have no problem sleep with the enemy, but you're at the same time you complain about white folks. Yeah. I never could understand that. and that's always been the issue in this country. Um, well, personally, if you listen to Sister Soldier, she don't even give credit to white people, even the whites that somewhat do good. And my mother always said, she said those white people that that are so quote unquote doing good for black people, they're investing it. It's like an investment. They're not doing it because they really love black people. They're doing it because there's some sort of investment to them. They don't really have love for us like that. So it's not coming from the heart. You know what I mean? So I won't never include these so-called quote unquote white people that do good, that I guess they doing good for black people. So it's always a string of some sort of string attached to it. But these supposed to be the so-called good white people that black people or these pro-blacks are sleeping with. I think it's a slap in the face to our ancestors that have not done it. I mean, I don't know. CJ, do you know any ancestor that you could think of that actually was pro-black and slept with white people?
Man, you know that it just seems like the disrespect for our ancestry and the black freedom fight and the black struggle is just something new. Like when we talk about this millennial generation, man, it seemed like a lot of the youth, man, has just dropped the ball, bro. They're not even carrying on a torch because, man, you have talked about this time and time again. But I mean, at this point, man, you got suckers and sellouts, man, of all ages. But what I'm saying, we know growing up in the 90s how things used to be, bro. We were more together as a people, not saying that we were even together as a people, but one thing we didn't tolerate, bro, that race mixing, bro, that shit was out the door in the early 90s, man.
Mm-hmm.
Throughout the entire 90s. Like, at least in my neighborhood, bro, people, the sisters and stuff will be looking at you funny. Like, black people didn't get down like that back in the days. You had some, but it wasn't as widespread as it is today in 2020. And we know because we've been battling, these race mixes and these black people that sleeping with the enemy, man, on YouTube for 10 years. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, we got brothers like Shannon Sharp, talking black, sleeping white.
Mm-hmm.
We got this so-called man, Colin Kaepernick, with the, his moniker is his avatar is what I would call him. His avatar would be the man with the big nappy, thick afro with a big black power fist up, kneeling, you know what I'm saying, down for the flag. But then at the end of the day, we find out this man is sleeping white. It's just like
Colin Kaepernick, he's biracial. I'm not going to include people like that. I'm talking about people that look like you said, the Shannon Sharps, the Sidney Poitiers, these guys that supposed to be, that make these strong pro-black movies and power to the people, Negroes, but behind closed doors, they're sleeping white. And even the guy who did the movie, what's his name? Was it Selma?
Yeah, Selma.
Yeah, he's married to a white woman.
Wow, you talking about the one who played Martin Luther King Jr.?
Yep. He's married to a white woman. Yeah.
Wow. You know what got me, bro? When I heard Jamie Foxx was with a white woman. And then on top of that, remember the brother who did the voice of the original Lion King and also was in Coming to America?
James Earl Jones. Yeah, he's married to a white woman. Yeah, he was the main one. He was in that movie Coming to America.
Yeah.
This is the point I'm trying to make. This is definitely the point I'm trying to make. You got a lot of these. They pick and choose. White folks. They pick and choose these coons. They play these pro-black roles. But in real life, they don't even live it. They're not even living it. And how could you make a movie? Even the guy who played 12 Years a Slave, he's married to a white woman. Like you know what I'm saying? Like you're making these movies and you know how like you're definitely experiencing and reading the horrors, and you still gonna marry you gonna marry, you know, the enemy?
Hey, bro, who was that in Nate Parker's movie? The one about Nat
Nat
Turner.
Parker. Nat Parker, another one who did Birth of the Nation, who's playing Nat Turner. He was another one, and everybody know Nat Turner didn't marry out. He married a black woman, and it's a slap in the face. It's a slap in the face, man. You know, and that part, and how I don't even know how he could sleep at night. How could you sleep at night? I mean, shit. You know what scared me? That movie Get Out. That really frightened me. That should make any black man don't even want to be with no white woman, or vice versa. You know what I mean? So I don't understand that. But I'm gonna play you. Let's play with Umar Johnson when he was in Roland Martin show, and I'm gonna play you. And he made a lot of sense. Dr. Umar Johnson made a lot of sense. I mean, he studied psychology. He has a doctor's degree in psychology. So this man definitely knows what he's talking about. Anybody who has a doctor's degree definitely know what he's talking about. So I'm always gonna listen to people who have doctorate degrees and who actually did the field work, because these people, you know, these people did the hard work. I'm not gonna let somebody who just watched a couple of DVDs and read one or two books, and they think they know everything. They haven't really done the field work. You know what I mean? So I just like the way how he explained it. And the panel got on him. The panel got upset, and he's supposed to be the so-called pro-blacks who talk about issues in the United States what white people are doing to us, but then they get mad at Dr. Umar because of what he said. Now I'm not going to play that part with the panel guy, but everybody probably seen it. You know, especially the black woman, and she was the first coonish chick that decided she wanted to open her mouth. You know, like I said, she's the mascot. You know, the black woman who's into interracial relationships, and she embrace. I'm not saying all of them, but I'm talking about the coonish ones. She wants to be the mascot of interracial relation because she was the first one that started attacking Umar Johnson. You know, so I'm going to play you this. I'm going to screen share this. And when I screen share, I'm going to definitely want your take on it, POW.
I got a lot to say about that shit, bro. Really.
All right. Let's get this. Let's get it in. Oh, hold on. Something's wrong. Hold on.
Interview, you talked about a variety of issues that also got people talking. One of them dealt with your views on interracial marriage.
Yes, sir.
And so, so explain that for folks who did not hear it.
Certainly. Simply put, any black man who is with a woman who's not an African herself is going to have a difficult time getting respect from me. I believe black men need to be with black women. The black family is under attack. Only 1 out of every 4 black women gets married. The black woman is last likely to get married. She's the last married, the first divorced. We have 2/3 of our children being raised by working class and impoverished single black female-led households. The destruction of a nation begins in the home of its families. And if we want to save black people, we have to save the black family. And in order to do that, black men have to commit themselves to black women.
So when you talk about not getting your respect, so if that's the case, you're saying President Barack Obama to get your respect because his dad married a white woman?
Oh, not at all.
Would Harry Belafonte?
Not at all. I want to be very clear about something. as Pan-Africanists, the product of an interracial union is an African. I have heroes who are biracial. Some of the grandfathers of Pan-Africanism were of mixed racial ancestry. You don't blame a child for how they got here.
But I'm asking you this here. Harry Belafonte is a white wife. No respect for him?
It would be very, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter your social status.
So no. That's the social. I'm talking about the one who put the work.
Right, but you put him out.
No. I'm asking you. So Harry Belafonte.
Yes, sir.
Sidney Poitier, Julian Bond, Vernon Jordan.
And you're naming all them to say what?
No, these are all African American men who have
done some good things.
No, who married white women. But you said any black man who marries a white woman will not get your respect.
Can I respond?
Yeah, go ahead.
And what I'm telling you is this: I don't care who you name. I don't care how much work you did for black people. Your greatest commitment to black people is being committed to a black woman. It is still a contradiction. No matter how much you think you did for the struggle, if you really were concerned with black people, you would have committed yourself to a black woman. So it doesn't matter how successful they are. It doesn't matter how great you may claim them to be. At the end of the day, you didn't think enough about your own people to marry a woman who looks like you.
Okay. So what's your thoughts on that
particular interview?
Man, bro, when you ask me like, what's my thoughts on that? Man, no, I'm talking on her. When you ask me what's my thoughts on that, bro, like, I feel like, okay, the disrespect, like what the bro said, man, like, if you can't, I mean, man, like knowing your history, knowing who the hell you are, if you don't got something looking like you, like, what the hell, man, like, I know me personally, man, I ain't looking for no Becky. Like what I'm looking for, man, is a nice, tender, you know what I'm saying? Black female, bro. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day. So that clip, man, means so much, bro. Man, I want to hear your commentary on that.
He's right. The black woman is the least to get married. I mean, like I said, I told you when we was on the phone, I was, saying that I know one coon that I used to be friends with. We no longer tight no more. Now that I know his she-devil wife, who was a biggest fat-ass whore, I'm just going to keep it blunt, because during that separation, she's Puerto Rican and she's, Caucasian, one of those Caucasian Puerto Ricans. And, the ones that look like Fat Joe, I just call them Caucasians to me that speak Spanish. She, when they separated, she started, cheating with other black men, and sleeping with them and all that stuff. And now they're back together. But during that relationship, she was causing conflict with black people. The guy that she was sleeping with, he was down with a blood, and her husband, that she was separated from at the time, he couldn't really come to the house because the dude that she was sleeping with, who was a blood, they had problems. They were fighting over this chick somewhat, right? And she was enjoying it. She was enjoying it, and even when it came down to me and her husband, we had conflict, and she, it's not like she stepped in and said, "Look, y'all friends, y'all need to work it out." Nope. She never spoke to him. She never put him to the side and say, "Look, guy's a good dude. Like, come on, man. Like, don't, nope." She didn't step in. She sat back and watched the show. She was looking who's gonna make the first kill, so to speak. You know what I mean? So you got a lot of you got a lot of these people that don't look like this. They secretly come into our race. I won't say secretly, but they purposely come into our race. And some of them, because some of these white women, whether they speak Spanish or English or French or whatever the case is, they come into our race to cause conflict. Because some of these white women, they come in and because they throwing some black man some pussy, the black man think he's all love, according to what he thinks, but not realizing that enemy is going to cause confusion, knowing that it's going to be another black man ain't going to ain't gonna tolerate that. So that dude who's married, who's sleeping with the enemy, he feels that he has to protect the Becky, you know, or the Sally or whatever. He feels he got to protect her. And then he'll turn around and say, well, now all white people are bad. You see what I'm saying? But at the same time, he's still trying to represent the streets. He's still trying to represent, he wants to be pro-black. Because real hood dudes, in my opinion, where I grew up, we don't get down like that. We don't get down with the Beckys. Because you can't be from the streets and be down with the Beckys. I'm just saying, you know, that's just my opinion. You know, I never knew no hood dude that I know of go that way. Because back in my day, you know, brothers used to check dudes like that, like, yo, you a sellout. You know what I mean? So me and that dude, we was never on cool terms after that. You know what I mean? You know, I gave him a pass, but you know, and when I realized that when she was actually the problem, that's when I was just kind of like, okay, I can't fuck with this dude. Now he got two other black girls pregnant before he met this white bitch, and he didn't marry them. You know, he had kids by them, but he didn't marry him. But he went out his way to marry this Puerto Rican girl. Okay, who's not even attractive. The sisters that he had a baby that he had kids by, they were attractive. They were very attractive, but he didn't marry them. So I don't know why black men feels that black women are not worth of putting a ring on a finger. And you know what kills me about some of these simp niggas, and I have to use that word. I don't like really using that word, but some words just fits. They will go out their way to get involved with a stripper, get involved with a porn star who don't even deserve to get a ring. You know what I'm saying? Don't even deserve it. Some women that you shouldn't even be involved with. You got some black women that should never get married and never have no children. You can't be a porn star and have a family. You can't be a stripper or be a pole dancer, because eventually your children are going to know, especially if you're going to have a family. The children are going to find out. Then you got to hide your kids and you got to say, you know what I mean? Like it's embarrassing. Like it's really embarrassing to really say, yeah, that's my wife. And your wife did every nasty thing in the book. Man, it's on record. But you rather marry that, but not marry a sister who went to college, you know, just a decent woman who just doing the right thing. You won't marry that, but you want to ruin her life and marry some chick don't even deserve to be married. You know, you don't deserve no ring. You know what I mean? And it seemed like to me some of these black men are just very backwards. Like I've seen dudes will go out there. I remember one time, like this dude, he went out his way to marry this Puerto Rican girl who had 4 children. He ain't never had no children, but he went out his way to get in a relationship and have a baby by a woman, a Puerto Rican woman, mind you, who already had 4 children. And you know what I said? He was a black man. I said, yo, you know what? I told him right there. I said, you know, I could never do that. To me, I would never disrespect myself to go to do that. You know what I mean? And I remember this one brother said, man, you shouldn't say that, man. You're making that guy feel bad. I said, you should, you should feel, because it's a disgrace. It's a disgrace, because you got a lot of good sisters out there that don't have no children, that wants to get married and just do it things the right way. You know what I mean? Are decent sisters out there, and they don't even get the opportunity. They don't get the chance. So I just feel like, it's a very disrespectful. It's just very disrespectful, man. Very disrespectful. Let me see who's there. What happened? Yeah, so my brother's out. I thought he was in. I know my brother Bakari's in here. Let's see something. All right, yeah, but so it's a shame where that you got a lot of these pro-black guys. They really can't. They don't impress me. They don't impress me where they come off being this, I'm for my people, and they thinking that they can somewhat just try to win pro-blacks over. You see what I'm saying? I don't think that's it's never I just feel like it's a slap in the face. It's definitely a slap in the face when people do that. But I don't get involved with these type of dudes. Technically, I don't even want to associate with dudes that claim that they for their people, but it's okay to sleep with the enemy. I don't get involved with those dudes like that. Those dudes don't speak for me. And even when it comes down to sisters, when these black chicks, they want to wear the dashikis and they claim they for their people, but they sleep with the enemy. I don't support them. So I definitely don't get down with that. So yeah, so that's my take on the situation.
Can I say something, Brian?
Go ahead.
Before you had to step away right quick. You know what? You said a lot of stuff I agree with, and when I heard Dr. Umar, it's like Trajan, you have turned your back on your race. You have turned your back on keeping your race alive. And in essence, more important than anything, you're killing yourself because you get a mixed child. They say that child will marry somebody from the other race, not your race, from the race that you married. Then that child marry. Then they have a child. Then that child marries somebody from that race that you married. You in essence have killed yourself. You are no longer there. You have been bred out, and you allowed it. You allowed you allowed your death, even though you're no longer here. Because I believe your spirit live forever, but you have allowed yourself to be bred out. You're killing yourself, and that's a fact. Like I said, you can look at the Tasmanian, even though they did a lot of different things to them. They murdered them and did all that, but they also raped the women and kept going back and forth into doing the same thing till they bred them out. You can look at you ain't got to go over there. Look at a lot of the Native American Indians. The ones that wouldn't kill off was damn near bred out. If you go to a reservation or see a reservation, most of the Native American Indians is going to look white. They're not going to be red or whatever color they are. They're not going to be that because of everything that has happened. So when you choose someone else of another race, you need to think about everything that you're choosing. Everything. That's my take on it.
And I just want to say, yeah, and I want to add on something. Where's the loyalty? And I always say, we where's the loyalty? How can you relate? How can you say that you love your people and you don't even want to marry and produce people that looks like you? You don't want to produce your reflection. And I never could understand that logic. And just like Dr. Umar Johnson said, that it's a contradictory. It's a contradictory because even when he said that, the panel got on him. Oh well, oh really, dude? You don't disagree with interracial relations? I mean, are you serious? And these are black people, but complain about what white people doing to them. And I'm just lost there. Maybe they can, and they never could, explain that logic to me. You complain what white people doing to you, but then you get mad when somebody say, well, I don't want to marry them. I don't want to produce children with these people. It's not normal. You know, so no, I'm not gonna waste my time supporting these actors who make these movies about our pain and suffering, but then they turn around and give all their hard-earned money to the same race of people that they complain about. Like, I don't understand. Like the Sidney Poitiers, the Ned Parkers, the you know, and many more, many others. James Earl Jones. I mean, you know, many others, many others. It's a slap in the face. It's a slap in the face. So we I never could understand that logic, and it's a disgrace and it's disgusting. And we have to it's just we can't allow that. At some point we I think feel like some of us got to speak up about that. You know, they don't speak for me. You can't marry outside your race and speak for black people. You can't speak for me. You know, you can't speak for me. You know, it's disgusting. It's very disgusting, and I don't like to be around people like that. And these people have no problem justifying it, and they don't have no problem justifying it. And getting mad, like the people in the panel, they got upset with Dr. Umar Johnson. I didn't understand that, you know, especially the black woman, and I'm very surprised at her because, you know, you would think that okay, that's a solid brother. He really loves the black woman, but it seemed like to me she had more love for the white man than her own brothers. So that's how I took it. But then she complains about racism. These are the same people that complain about racism. Oh my God, white people doing this to us, and the white people doing that to us. But then when it comes to interracial relationships, oh, that's a beautiful thing. It's not beautiful, because if it was such a beautiful thing, then we wouldn't be having this issue today. And, you know, they talk about Frederick Douglass and Dr. Umar Johnson. And he's right. People need to be called out on, including Dr. Umar Johnson, including him, because he got black baby mamas. He didn't marry them. He didn't wife them. But they was good enough to have children by. So we gotta call these people out. Now, I have no problem. Peace, Forecast Radio. If you want to come on, let me know. Yeah, man, it's a really disgusting. It's really disgusting when I see these pro-blacks that embrace interracial relations, and they become a huge contradictory, just a huge contradictory, man. And there's no loyalty in that. There's no loyalty, and it doesn't matter to me. In my opinion, it doesn't matter what they do. And to me, it doesn't matter what they do. You can give money, you can rebuild black communities, you can do whatever. But again, if you're not married to your own, it don't mean nothing. You're just wasting your time and energy and money. I'm gonna keep it 100. And to me, anybody, I don't care if you're a DMX, if you can't be no hard dude claim you from the streets and you married to, you with a Becky, I will never take you serious. You show that's weakness right there. That's weakness. That's weakness. And trust me, believe This is their way of infiltration. This is how white people infiltrate. They will sacrifice their own to bring us down. That's facts. And we see that time and time again. I mean, if you look at what happened to O.J. Simpson, this man was was on top of the world. O.J. Simpson was on top of the world. He had a black wife. He had a black wife. Brother Bakar, Brother Bakar is still on there. He had a black wife. And he left her. He left her for Becky. And look what happened. Look what happened. So, yes, that's facts. KW Dawn 7, yes, that's facts. That's facts. Assimilation and integration is a death by lethal integration. That's true. That is facts. It is a death sentence. It is a death because you're number one, you're whitewashing your race. I've seen a lot of black women producing basically white children when they get into these interracial relationships, and vice versa. So you're not gonna have a solid. How can you say that you having black children? How can you say people like Barack Obama is black? Because and to me that's the most ignorant shit that I keep hearing. Oh, black is dominant. That's dominant. How are you gonna, that makes you a black man? That's not true. That's not true. Because if that was true, then if that was true, then they would really be for black people all the way. They're not gonna turn around and say, oh, I have white parents. They will hate their white side. They would not go to they're not going to go to like Zaza Ali. I'll give a perfect example. Let's look at Zaza Ali. She's another, she thinks she's black, but she goes to her white family and celebrate their holidays. And, she said Michi X said that she loved her white daddy. She's another one, Michi X, another mixed person. She says she I guess she classified herself as black, but she had no problem going to her white side of her family when it comes down to Thanksgiving dinners and Christmas and all this other stuff. So there's always going to be a contrast. Look at what's his name? There's another guy named Jesse Williams, I believe. He was another one that maybe he was on BET Awards or something like that, and he gave this great speech about the black woman. And you have these black women clapping like, oh, that was the best thing they heard because it came from a mixed guy. You know how many solid brothers, gave great speeches about sisters? And they gave him a standing ovation. But look what he did. He dumped his black wife and got with Becky. His white side took over. So they're not really solid black people. And I'm sick and tired people hold these mixed people, and it's not their fault, but they come from interracial, interracial sex, So they come from that. But I'm tired of black folks, solid black people, taking that and say, well, these are black, like the Barack Obama supporters. Oh, he's a black man. He's a solid black man. I said, well, wait a minute, but you had the Jesse Jackson that ran. You had this Cynthia McKinney's. And where was the love and support for them? So it's This is what happens when you sleep with the enemy. And what happens, it causes a lot of infighting. It causes a lot of infighting. And you know what? After we wipe each other out, then they get to move on and they do some more infiltration. So just for example, the situation, the story that I told you about with the brother that I had a conflict with, if we got into it, you know, something happens to him where he end up in a hospital or in a morgue, or one of us had to go to jail. Guess what his white chick gonna do? She's gonna move on to with somebody else, and she's gonna do the same thing, cause a lot of infighting, because she know there's gonna be some black folks that's not gonna put up with that. That's not gonna stand for that. I know one brother that I know that he has issue with black women, and he knows that I have an issue with him messing with white girls. And his own mother said, look, he even told me, he says his own mother have a problem messing with white girls. And I said, well, don't you see? You have a beautiful mother. I told him his mother's very beautiful. And I call her queen. I said, your mother's like my mother. I said, but why would you disrespect her like that? You know, why would you disrespect your mother? Because she probably feel a certain way. You know, you don't love your mother enough to marry someone that looks like your mother or your grandmother. So you can't, that where's the love? So, you know, when black people say, well, I love my black mother, or I love my black father. Well, no, you don't. Because if you do, you wouldn't step outside and marry someone who don't look like your mother. You're not gonna step outside and marry someone who don't look like your father. If you claim you love yourself, if you claim that you love your mother and father that looks like you, it's not happening. RG3, same thing. Two beautiful family, but he's another one that got children by the Beckys and the Sallys. Well, one of them divorced him, and she said she won $35,000 a month because she said she didn't want to work. This is what white women do. So where's the love in that? Where's the love? You say interracial is about love. Where's the love? Well, you have this white woman told RG3, Robin Griffin III, said she won $35,000 a month for alimony. And I think it was not alimony. I think it was child support. I'm asking, where's the love? So there's no love in interracial relationships. I haven't seen it. But this is where you go on YouTube videos. They give you this betrayal, and he's supposed to be solid brothers and pro-blacks and saying, "Oh, I love being black and I'm for my people." No, you're not. No, you're not.
Oh yeah, bro, man, oh man. I'm not sure how much of this show I missed, but man, my computer was acting up, man. Shit, it kicked me out of StreamYard, kicked me offline, dude. I had to like restart my computer like multiple times.
Oh, that's all right, brother. That's all right. No, I was just saying that basically is that there's no loyalty when it comes down to sleeping with the enemy. You know, they were just saying there's no loyalty of that.
Yeah, brother,
Forecast, if you want to come on, Forecast, you could definitely join. Just if you want to. So yeah, man. But I was just saying that I was saying about the Zaza Ali's, and these are the people who's been the products of interracial relationships, and she's another one that's on for my people. But she goes to the Thanksgivings with her white side and Michi X, and there's no loyalty even when it comes down to the mixed race who comes from that interracial. And these are most likely the white man with black women and vice versa. There's no loyalty. There wasn't even no loyalty when we had Barack Obama. Where was the loyalty? So I don't see nothing comes out of that. When you listen to, they had talked about Frederick Douglass. They talk about Frederick Douglass got with a white woman. And Umar Johnson was right. He said, he was old when by the time he got with this white woman. And that's true. He was with the sister for a very long time until she passed away, I believe. Even with, look at the Jack Johnsons. But they don't get a pass. Michael Jordan, he don't get a pass. He don't get a pass. And he was with the sister for a very long time. And she was with Michael Jordan when Michael Jordan was a nobody. You see what I'm saying? So where's the loyalty? There's no loyalty. There's no loyalty when it comes down to these pro-blacks. And I have a problem with them. You cannot say, there's like I was talking about another brother, CJ, that he's dating white women now. And I told him, and even his mother got on him. She said, look, I'm really not comfortable with you dating white women. And I would say, brother, your mother's right. It's a slap in the face. And he said, well, he's trying to make it seem, well, back in her day, it was an issue. It's still an issue because some brothers not having it. And it does cause a conflict in relationships. It does cause a conflict because some brothers not dealing with it. They're not comfortable with that. So CJ, as far as what you heard, what is your take on the Frederick Douglass, Umar Johnson? He talks about marriage, but he's another one which he contradicts himself, where he didn't marry none of his baby mothers. So he contributes to the problem too of these sisters are not getting married and leaving these black women by themselves with children, and they're not married. Like, I just want to know, what is your take on it, CJ? Prisoner of War Radio, you there, brother?
Oh yeah, man. Hello?
Yeah.
Okay, my bad. Yeah, I was trying to grab something out the other room while you was talking. I thought you was gonna be talking for a minute. What did you ask me a question?
Yeah, I just want to know, what is your thoughts on the Frederick Douglass married a white woman at his old age? Because that was brought up in the video that I played. The Jack Johnsons, who was that's with a white
just
woman.
A little bit of it real quick, man. I'm sorry. This guy be like this, bro. I had something pop up just out of nowhere. I'm like, wow. So how long of a clip was the video?
No. When I played the video with Dr. Umar Johnson, they brought up the Frederick Douglass.
Yeah. But okay. I mean, man,
he was considered he was considered pro-black, right?
Yeah.
And eventually, I think he was married twice, I believe. He was with the sister for a long time until she passed away, and then eventually he hooked up with this white woman.
Man, that's but that's a mystery, bro. That's a good question because just the way I look at it, I personally don't believe that looking at in Frederick Douglass's day that the same thing can be compared to what black people going through today when you see black people swirling and race mixing, because what I'm saying is Frederick Douglass was born into slavery. Am I correct about that?
Yes. Yeah. But Frederick Douglass was mixed too. Was he mixed?
Yeah, he probably was the product of
yeah, he was mixed.
He the product of slave rape.
Yeah, but so he won't be considered counted So let me get this straight. So he won't be considered counted of somebody as a solid black person. So he can go either way.
Well, I wouldn't say that, brother. The only thing I would say, bro, would be like in Frederick Douglass's time, that was right in and out of slavery. Like he was the generation of the youth that was just coming out of slavery. Like he's the product of direct slave rape. Like, you know, what happened on the plantation when we always talk about our sisters, man, being abused, being misused, and, you know, being raped by these goddamn, you know, Ku Klux Klan, you know, racist white slave masters. Like if you watch the movie Harriet Tubman, man, like the beginning of Harriet, I couldn't even finish watching the movie, man. It just made me so sick. It made me so sick to my stomach to see how the white man was doing our people, man, treating our people as nothing, telling our people to look into the Bible and praise not only your God. He said something about praise your earthly master. Like the white man was using that book of corruption, that fucking slave Bible, telling our people to praise their earthly masters. There's a passage in the Bible that says this. And it was taught when it what the crackers in the movie Harriet was talking about. They was talking about praise the doggone slave owners. That's their worldly masters. So I say all of that just to say that our people back in those days in the mid to late 1800s, bro, they had been through so much as a people. Now, Frederick Douglass, he was mixed if he was a product of slave rape, but I can't put him, a man who had just got out of slavery, in the same boat as one of these Negroes today in 2020, that these mega multi-millionaire black people that got all the money, ain't never been in slavery, don't know what it's like to be born in slavery, don't know what it's like to be in the cotton fields, picking cotton from sun up to sundown, man, prickling your thumb. And you know what I'm saying? They don't know nothing about that today. So you cannot compare these Kobe Bryants, these Michael Jordans, these Jamie Foxxes, these Cuba Gooding Juniors, these Shannon Sharps. You can't compare them to
So let me start with, what about Jack Johnson? How y'all feel about Jack Johnson?
Jack, he was a boxer, right?
Right. Well,
What I've heard of Jack Johnson, I don't know everything about his.
he gave up his boxing career to be with white women.
What year was this? This was in Muhammad Ali's day?
No, this was
Prior?
the early 1900s, yeah.
So he was one of the first black boxers?
First black heavyweight champion of the world.
Oh, the first black heavyweight champion of the world. I gotta say this. Hats off to the brother, because that's one hell of a accomplishment, man. Because see what I'm saying, I understand the mind frame that, you know, brothers like my brother Guy and me and my brother Bakari are on today. But when we talk about the first like boxer, you know, like the first baseball player, like
What I'm trying to make is that he was with a white woman.
He gave up his career for white women.
He gave it for yeah.
Well, this
So
man.
what is your take on that?
But
when you hear about stuff like that, knowing that, and he went through racism. He been called all types of N-words, and like, what is your thoughts of him doing that? Especially during that time.
Well, my thing is, bro, I would never condone, support, or promote an interracial relationship. That has to be said first and foremost. I could never condone, support, or promote them. And so you know how I feel on that. The only way I would try to cut Jack Johnson or whatever a little bit of a pass, because this man was brought up at a different time than I was. I ain't never seen a colored only water fountain. You know what I'm saying? So, bro, I don't know, man. It's hard for me to judge, bro. Go ahead, bro.
What about you, brother Bakari? Like, how do you feel about Jack Johnson? Do you think he was a coon?
Yeah, he gave up his whole career because he couldn't leave white women alone. That's all he had to do, leave white women alone. He could have kept boxing.
And that's the problem, and that's what I'm talking about. That's exactly. I mean, I didn't cut you off. Go ahead, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
He literally threw away his whole career in the early 1900s because he couldn't stop trying to be with a white woman.
And knowing, especially during that time, you know, it was rough. You know, I can imagine when he went there, and then look what he did. The mindset has to, you know, you got to be crazy. Now, how do you feel now, Brother McCall? How do you feel about Dennis Rodman? I mean, we had to talk about Dennis Rodman. How you feel about what I don't know if you saw the documentary of Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, but I heard him talk about his family life before. Right.
Now, how do you feel about him chasing white women and him saying that he don't like black women? He's not attracted to black women.
He had mama issues. He had problems with black women. He blamed his black mama. He was mad at her for putting him out the house when he was 21 because he didn't want to get a job. He didn't want to do nothing but lay around and drink. But at the same time, while he's blaming her for that, if it wasn't for her, nobody would have seen him play basketball. Because he said he hadn't played no basketball. Somebody saw him playing basketball on the outside court because he said he ain't had nothing to do because he couldn't sit up in the house all day no more. So he went and started playing basketball, and somebody seen him, and bam, look at him. He a Hall of Famer.
Yep.
But he was mad at his mama and his sister.
Yeah, Dennis Rodman, bro, was always a clown, though. Like,
no, but I want to just say this real quick, CJ.
Yeah.
If you watched the documentary, he was living with this white family. He moved out of Dallas, and he was living with his wife. I forgot what state he moved into. He said, "I'm never gonna come back. I'm never gonna come back." So he left his moms and his sister.
Dennis Rodman,
and the white mother, because he defended this white, and the white kid mother, they would call him a nigga all through the N-word all through the house. You know what I'm saying? And you would think, wait a minute, you know. And he claimed that he would call the N-word so much he didn't think nothing of bad it was, but he still liked he got the blondest woman he can find, the blonde and bluish white woman he can find.
Yes, sir.
He got children by 2 blonde white women that I know of.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let me say something about Dennis Rodman.
The white women that call him the N-word.
Well, brother Guy, look at Dennis Rodman. Look at his persona, bro. I mean, remember the tattoos and he had his hair blonde and looking like a clown. Dennis Rodman, bro, didn't have it all upstairs. Like I mean, remember Dennis Rodman, bro, and him with them crazy hairdos. Like, remember what? Dennis Rodman even dressed up like a trainee.
Yeah, like drag. He said he was into the drag.
Yeah. So that dude, man, that Negro was crazy.
Yeah, going to gay clubs and all that stuff. Yeah. He was a mess. He was a hot mess, yo. But the point I'm trying to make is that he was another one that the white people would call him all types of N-words and put him down, saying how ugly he was. But then he went out and still got relationship with white women and said he wasn't attracted to black women. You know, even a white woman the white mother of the kid that he was staying with, the white boy's mother kept saying, you know, you need to be with your own women. You don't supposed to be with white women. You're supposed to be. So he told me, well, I'm not attracted to black women. And he wanted to fit in with white people so bad, he just lost himself, man. Like, I just like, wow. But it was pure self. I don't even think, and he wasn't born into slavery.
Hell no.
You know, and he tried to make it seem he didn't know anything about slavery. So I just thought that was kind of weird. So, you know, you hear about the Jack Johnsons, you hear about the Dennis Robbins, and, you know, all these people who went through hell, and they still marry these people, still sleeping with the enemy. And it's mind-boggling, and they think they're doing things for black folks.
Yeah,
you know, it's fucked up. It's really fucked up, and I think, and now you and see that what happens is they're encouraging people that we that we hang out with and stuff like that, they encourage, they being an influence. And it caused a lot of division, it caused a lot of conflict within the race. Because these people coming in our race and they see us fight. They sit back and say, okay, y'all duke it out. You know, a white woman never would intervene and say, oh, you know what, y'all black people cannot be fighting. I know you disagree with me being with him or whatever, but you got to understand, they're not doing that. They're going to be like, yo, you handle that. And while we kill each other, they move on to the next black person and the next black person. It's all to me, it's all a war tactic, yo. And that's the bottom line I'm trying to say. Sleeping with the enemy is going to get you killed. That's the bottom line.
That's real. Yeah.
You know?
That's right. Oh man. Sleeping with the enemy, man. I just, you know what I'm saying? At this point, like, I know when Umar Johnson went on to Roland Martin, like, it was just a complete setup.
Mm-hmm.
I really wish I would have been here to see that, man, but I was having technical difficulties at the time. But man, that video was just so epic and it touched home. It touched home because I just saw how Roland Martin set up Dr. Umar Johnson, man, and fed him to the wolves.
Yeah.
You had that crazy ass Negro with the pink tie on. Like, he don't know nothing about racism and white supremacy. It's just be a good old American Negro. Be a good old American Negro. Learn the white man's language, get good grades in his classroom, become his cop, go off to his military, and wow, you get a slice of the American pie.
Mm-hmm.
Be a good old Negro. And then what really, 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 man, it really hurt my heart to see the sister up there, man, just siding with the enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah, how could you? And that's what Umar's trying to say, Dr. Umar. He's like, how could you say you're fighting against the white institutionism, but you're sleeping with the same people who placed it there? You know, who's still oppressing us? How could you do that? The best way to fight, you know, oppression is to unite. And that's what Brother Bakari was doing, was showing people that we need to unite as a people. The black man and the black woman uniting, joining forces, marrying each other, keeping our wealth within our race. So God forbid if one of us pass away, we can leave something to the family. So to keep the wealth passed on, to keep it within the family. That's power. That's, you want to talk about black power? That's black power. That's black power. And also, too, we need to stop. And I gotta stress, we need to stop giving them credit. That's another trick that they're trying to do. Because, like my mother said before, and I think I said this earlier, that it's an investment to them. It's business to them. They're not really doing it for the heart. They're doing it because they want black people to praise them, to worship them. So, let me go out there and do a little this and do a little that for black people. And black people will sit there and be like, oh my God, he's the best white person in the world. And then when you say, well, white people haven't done nothing for us, oh, that's not true because so-and-so did this and so-and-so did that. To me, that's white worship. I don't give a damn what they do. They're not doing for me. That's just either that's guilt, or I don't know what that is, but all I know that's something. If they want to help it, they can help. But they're not getting praised for it. They don't deserve praise. Let their own people praise them. We don't praise them. We don't do stuff like that. We praise our own. And I think black people need to stop doing that. Just like with this Joe Biden situation, this politics situation. You literally have, when Bill Clinton was in office, oh my God, you have black people. Oh my God, Bill Clinton, he's really a black man. I'm like, yo, what the fuck y'all talking about? What are y'all doing? What are y'all talking about? And they literally worshiping this dude. We got to be careful. Just like JFK, you have black people worshiping JFK, like really giving this dude credit. We got to stop that. You know, we got to stop that, man. It's a sickness. It's a very sickness, man, and it's not cute at all. And it's a trick to keep giving white people so white people can stay in power. What is your thoughts on that?
And Brother Bakari. I want Brother Bakari to speak.
I don't know if he's. I know he's in the middle of doing something. That's why.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, my bad. Well, what was the exact question? I want to
No,
make
the exact question is like, what do you feel when black people praises? Because that's another form of a symbolism as far as sleeping with the enemy. When black people praise white people for any little thing they do for black people, like, how do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, man, we could just look inside a religion. That within a nutshell just tells you when you see a black person worshiping a white deity, their God is white. Like a lot of black people, bro, of course, okay, they're going to worship white Jesus. So you know they're going to worship white Bill Clinton. Bro, they used to a white God. Right. And that's what slavery did to us, man. These hundreds of years in bondage. You know, when these religious belief systems, man, were forced on us. Just like the Bible. You know, the Bible was a tool of oppression and a tool of brainwash to get black people to believe and pray to a white deity. And just like when I looked at I saw this article, and it was a place in Africa on the motherland, in the continent, to where this Jewish white boy went over to the continent, put on a white long robe, had blonde hair and blue eyes, walking with a cane, and called himself Jesus. He should have seen the people in the village that actually thought that, you know, because you know the image, Caesar Bodega. What's his name? Caesar
Bodega.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's what's being fed to our people. So, man, we need to, first of all, man, stop worshiping these white deities. Like, if your maker, if your God, if your leader don't look like you, remember we did one show that your leader better not be making more than you. And if we look back during those times, this white deity, this white man, I mean, wow, black people been through all this slavery, been through all this oppression, all this rape, all of this torture at the hands of who? A white man with blonde hair and blue eyes. Look just like your deity, just like the Jesus that you pray to. It's the same color and complexion of the one who has enslaved you for the past 400 years. Like, come on, man.
And you hit it right on the button. It's all white worship. Even when the people on the panel, when we was talking about the Roland Martin show, when those black, especially the black woman and that other coonish and the black man, how they got mad at Dr. Umar Johnson, they were really telling Umar Johnson they worship white folks. It is white worship. Why would you get on a black man who love his people and say, no, we need to unite? The black man, you need to unite with his sisters. You know, and vice versa. We need to unite, and you're gonna get mad at that. You're gonna get angry at that. So they wasn't really for their people. They still letting you know, hey, we still worship white folks. White people are the shit. So when you know, and even when I did the video about the mascot video, when you see the black woman, she was wearing a dashiki. How the hell are you gonna wear a dashiki and you with the white man? You know what I mean? So again, like you were saying, the religion had a lot. It has destroyed. I think the religion is really a used part of it. And if you look at Islam, if you look at Christianity, all that started with white people. You know. So it doesn't matter if a black person put a black face on it on these religion. It still is doing more harm than good. It's still white worship at the end of the day.
Ain't that funny though, bro? How, okay, the religion, the Christian and Muslim religion, bro. The God of the Muslims is some Arab, And we know that the Arabs were the first one to enslave our people, to invade Africa. So black people that's out here worshiping these Arab and these European gods, like, man, their religion, bro. Like, I believe in African spirituality because, you know, we were a people of nature, but we never worshiped a slave master. We never worshiped a white deity or white or Arab deity. We're people of nature, man.
That's right. Exactly. That's facts. You know, Prophet Muhammad was a white man. He is the founder of Islam. So why is black people following it? I don't have no idea. But as you see, have done more harm than good. Christianity, created by a white man. What's his name? What's his name? Not Julius Caesar. Constantine. He started the Roman Catholic Church. You know what I mean? So, but then you know, if you look at all the, and then work off to baptism and to Jehovah Witness, all these religions created by white folks, and then you got black people getting into this stuff, and like I said, it just destroyed. It got rid of our way of doing things, as like you said, got rid of the African spirituality. What that kept us going.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead. What's your take on it?
When I heard you say Jehovah Witness, right? Some Jehovah Witness was talking to me, and I was talking about Charles Taze Russell, the founder of it.
Right.
He talked about how black people was put on earth to serve white people. That was his goal. That's why you see more black people out, right? So when I told a black lady that, who was giving me a pamphlet, and I'm like, do you know what this is? And they literally, the lady told me, I ain't nothing but the devil. I'm gonna knock the bottom out of here. It's amazing how hard I laughed at her when she told me that, because I thought it was funny as hell. You ain't nothing but the devil. You gonna knock the bottom out of here. But the young man I was talking to, she tried to get him to leave, and he was like, wait a minute, let me finish here. I haven't seen him since, but he stayed, and he understood when I was talking about who we are. And why would we follow somebody who say things like that about us and make excuses and say, well, do you believe people can change? Maybe they can. But that's not up for me to determine that a dead man has changed. That's not me. That's not up for me to determine. But even if he changed those words, did his heart change? Did his spirit change? But see, we fall for all of that, even with the guy that did Scientology. What do you think about the South Africans? And if he said about the black people in South Africa, this is how you feel about black people. They're the hardest to tame. Like we're some type of animals. We beneath everybody. Man, and not just that, but look at Gandhi. You come to Atlanta, go to the King Center, or Google it. Just go online and Google the King Center, Gandhi Room. You can see it. They have a Gandhi room inside of the King Center. A statue of Gandhi, a bust of Gandhi inside of the King Center with the way Gandhi felt about black people. So it's not just religion, it's just whatever. We are the captured. And it's whatever our captors tell us is what we seem to follow. We are still like in bondage, but now it's mental bondage. It's whatever they are, because because I'm being honest, it's not just religion, it's everything. It's everything that they say. It's everything. It doesn't make a difference what it is. We follow it. We follow it. I get it, Mike.
And this is the point I'm trying to make. This is all symbolism of sleeping with the enemy. You know, worshiping white religion. You know, get into interracial marriages and dating. Even when it comes down to politics, I'm a Democrat. Was created by white folks. All these are sleeping with the enemy, and that's just symbolic. But sleeping with the enemy is, of course, having sex with the enemy. But that's a symbolic. And I tell black people, how loyal are you? How loyal are you? Because if you tell me that you love black people, if you love your people that much, you cannot say that you hate Africa. You cannot turn around and say that bang on your brothers and sisters that's also fighting in the same fight in the Caribbeans and in the UK and all that stuff, who also is going through it, and we all share the same pain and still suffering. You know, you're gonna reject your spirituality, you're gonna make fun of it, you're gonna criticize and make a mockery, and you're gonna say that you love your people, but you're gonna embrace these European, like my brother CJ said, you're gonna embrace these European deities that hated black people, that enslaved us, you know, and it's still keeping us in bondage. You think that because you do something for black people, you think it's okay to sleep with the same enemy that's keeping us down and marrying them and giving all your wealth to the same and making them richer? When you look at O.J. Simpson, you know, half of his money went to Nicole Simpson. I mean, she had everything. She took the house, his car, everything that man worked for. She was a goddamn bartender, wasn't making no money, and she was rich overnight. I mean, just think about that. But then you want to say, "Oh, I'm for my people. I love being black." Oh, because I'm married to this white person, that doesn't make me less black. Yes, it is. You're not black no more. You're not African. You're in their world. And that's why I have a problem with it. I want to know how loyal are you when, you know, and I'm talking to these pro-blacks, how loyal are you? You know, that's the question. I just want to know how loyal are you? And we you know, this is what I'm saying. We can talk about and yes, we talk about putting your race first and all this other stuff, but you know, when we get to the science of it, I just want to know how loyal are you when it comes down to freeing your people, because you got to free yourself from all these different things. And that's what I always say. If you really want to be true liberation, we talk about true liberation, then you got to reject all these things that was forced on you. What is your thoughts on that? How do you feel about, what is your definition of true liberation?
Yeah, Brother Bakari. Is Brother Bakari there? Well,
he's probably doing something. What is your thoughts on true liberation?
Well, first off, man, I mean, my thoughts on true liberation is going to be a lot different, because just based off of the topic, sleeping with the enemy, a lot of black people, man, play the enemy role to the black liberation movement. Because see, what they do is, man, they siding today, bro. Like in 2020, it's hard to even get Negroes to come together to even be able to agree on who the enemy is.
Mm-hmm.
True liberation is to be in a place, I mean, a country governed by my people, a neighborhood full of my people, to where it will be free of all the ills of black society, as far as the dope dealers, I mean, the womanizers, the interracial relationships, the homosexuals, white people, I mean, any colonizer. True liberation is not going to come for black people until, we become, we govern over our own.
Mm-hmm.
As long as I got as long as an interracial couple or a homosexual couple got the right to come move next door to me, I'm not liberated.
Mm-hmm. That's true. That's true.
That's right, bro. So,
and true liberation.
I'm here now. I'm sorry.
Bro. What is your opinion on true liberation? Real liberation. Like when when I say real liberation, I'm talking about reject anything that was forced on you, like all these religions that was forced on us, Christianity, Islam. These stuff was forced on us. Reject it. get into African spirituality, reconnect to your people in Africa. Like my brother CJ said, establish a community or town where it could be more African centric. Start governing your own and not letting certain poison that comes with it comes from the enemy into your space or your community or your town or your city or your country. What is your thoughts? What is your opinion on true liberation? What is your opinions on true liberation?
True liberation is being able to govern yourself. You govern once you have established, you've been able to govern yourself. That's true liberation.
But true liberation has to start mentally as well. Like before you govern, you gotta say, okay, you gotta start saying, okay, look, I reject this. This was okay. Islam enslaved my people and did a lot of harsh. I'm gonna have to reject it. Christianity, I'm gonna reject that because it slavery. You know what I'm saying? Because of what happened to the Europeans that gave us and did all these fucked up things to us. Homosexuality, all that. Like it has to start mentally before you get into the governing part. And that's just my opinion.
Okay, but see, when you ask me, right? So for me, the true liberation, mentally, the first thing come to me is going to be self-governing. For his religion, I can't get into, because people religion, like Malcolm said, people religion is personal to them. And if you tell people they can't have their religion, it's going to be a whole lot of problems until they are ready to get out of that.
Oh, okay.
Now that's just my take on it. When I listen to Malcolm or go back to Garvey, but true liberation is taking care of yourself. This is my opinion. Taking care of yourself and being able to govern yourself, making your own clothes, growing your own food, have your own internet service. Right now, we can do the mental liberation. You can liberate yourself from mental slavery. That's a fact. But now that we've liberated yourself from mental slavery, but no, we don't own nothing, own and control nothing, and we are governed by the people that captured us and enslaved us. So once you are free from mental slavery, you are still being controlled because everything we use is theirs. Like I said, even down to the grocery stores, we have to go to them to eat. So true liberation for me is self-governing. If you want to start with the mental first, you have to make yourself mentally free of a lot of things. Make yourself mentally want to govern yourself. Your mentality won't allow you to accept everything that your slave owner gave you. But then it's time to get down to business. It's time to start pooling your money together, because we're gonna have to get a farm and feed ourselves. Pooling the money together while the farmers is getting the farm. Even if we don't get a big grocery store, we taking some of these corner stores, selling fruits and vegetables and the things that we eat out of some of these corner stores. It's places now that's all black towns. That's completely shit. I grew up in an all black town. We don't have no police, no nothing. So there's places you can go and things that you can do. But at the end of the day, you can be, for me, the way I see it is like I told one of my friends in the barbershop, I can emancipate myself we can emancipate ourselves from mental slavery, but we're still controlled and governed by other people.
That's right.
Self-government for me.
I might take a
Let
little.
me say something real quick, bro.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
See, I believe and I understand, I respect everything my brother Bakari said, but I believe also that, man, the mental aspect is Very important, because if we look today, just look at us. We are the number one oppressor of each other. A lot of these things, man, that's why the mental aspect is so important, because as long as we as a people are praising white deities, Arab deities, we're going out here, we can't put our money into black business because we're too busy spending with the Koreans and the Hispanics and the Arabs. Like, even us as a people, man, I mean, man, we knocking each other off left and right. Like, shit, 8 times out of 10, when I go out in the street, I don't even have to worry about the doggone white man. I got to worry about another brother just like me knocking me off. Like, just look at what's happening out here in the world. Like, we got a George Zimmerman, we got a Trayvon Martin, but then we also have a Nipsey Hussle. So it's like we can't even focus on, you know what I'm saying, taking out our enemy because we got our own kind killing each other. So that's why the mental is so powerful and so important.
Man, bro, CJ, you hit it right on the button, brother. And that's why I want to tell Brother Bakari, and I'm not disagreeing, my brother. I'm not. I totally understand.
If you disagree, I'm gonna do a video.
No, huh? No. Huh?
I said, if you disagree, I'm gonna do a video.
No, but I feel what you said, brother. But I have to go with CJ on this because he's right. I mean, because you really look at it. When I played the Umar Johnson, look what those black people did. They went against the brother. They went against the brother. They didn't say, "Hey, you know what, brother? You're right. The black man should marry the black woman. We should unite." Brother Bakari, you even talked about uniting. Put our differences to the side, and that's cool and dandy, and I love that. But the mental, you still got black people, and I want to say, how loyal are you when you can embrace a religion that came from your enemy? Because check this out, I'll give you a perfect example. You're talking about governing. Okay, we have our own state, or we have our own country. But then you're gonna have, then when somebody invade us, guess what's gonna happen? You're gonna have black people going to turn around and say, "Oh, well, the Bible says we can't do this." Well, the Quran, because you're gonna still have black people going to turn around and think about turning the other cheek. Or you're gonna have some black people that ain't gonna want to fight. The majority ain't gonna want to fight because what some Bible said, or what some Quran said. You know, we peaceful people because Jesus was peaceful, and you still got believing that lie. So we talking about the majority. We're not talking about just a handful of people. We talking about the majority of people that still have this slave mentality because what some religion was dictate to them. You know what I'm saying? That they don't even own a religion. So you can't say they're a religion because they don't even own it. Black people don't own Islam. They can name it whatever. Nation of Islam, they can name it whatever. They don't own that religion. They don't own it. It was never belonged to them. Christianity was never belonged to them. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying, when we talk about sleeping with the enemy, that's symbolic. Because I want to know, how loyal are you when you can reject your African deities and going to replace it to some, like my brother said, some white deities that put you under slavery for damn near how long? So we got to be careful. In my opinion, if we're going to be liberated, we got to be liberated truth altogether. I mean, we got to reject all that shit.
So let me ask you a question. So you saying Malcolm couldn't ever been truly liberated? Malcolm didn't believe he could be liberated.
Look what happened to Malcolm.
But I'm saying, so it ain't about what happened. I'm talking about, so did Malcolm want liberation? Or did Marcus Garvey want liberation? Or did
but you got to understand, these guys were still learning. You got to understand, you know, these guys, even though Marcus Garvey, but I believe Marcus Garvey, once he had went to Africa, if Marcus Garvey went to Africa, I bet you anything, he would have got rid of that Christianity.
Who took Garvey down? W.E.B. Du Bois, another black man.
But that wasn't religion. But that wasn't religion what W.E.B. Du Bois used. W.E.B. Du Bois didn't believe
Right.
in self-government.
I'm just saying the mental
Right.
aspect. We got to become a
Right.
comrade,
Yeah.
to
The
our
mental. Yeah.
not an enemy to our people. That's all I'm saying, bro. That it starts within us, like you always say, bro, about self reparations. You know what I'm saying? I'm just speaking on that level,
Oh
bro.
don't get it twisted. Okay, like I said, there is a mental. Okay, when I say self-government, that should be one of the first things that come to your mentality when you talk about liberation is self-government. Somebody then if you want liberation, like W.E.B. Du Bois, who Marcus Garvey said was a rabid mulatto and need to be horsewhipped. With him, he was jealous because he wanted to be out the Booker T.
Mhm.
Him and I want to say A. Philip Randolph. It was because it wasn't just W.E.B. Du Bois. He just ended up being the most famous one. But it was a group of them. It was a group of black people that went after Marcus Garvey.
Right. Right.
Wow.
A whole group of them.
But
Wow.
like,
Black
but
people.
I would say this, brother. And when you had talked about Malcolm X and his religion and Marcus Garvey being Christian, Malcolm X being a Muslim, I truly believe, because these guys were still learning. These guys were still, you got to understand, these guys were still young. You know what I mean? So look, when by the time I got rid of Christianity, I was in my late 30s. You know what I mean? So, so you got to understand, I believe if Marcus Garvey went to Africa, because he didn't go to Africa, but if he went to Africa, he would have got rid of that Christianity. I know. He would not be talking about, Jesus and all that shit. He would have been like, you know what? I learned my spirituality. I'm not longer a Christian. And even when I think Malcolm X would eventually, in my opinion, I think he would have just learned more about his African history. You know what I'm saying? Because he would have been taking trips more to Africa more often if he was still alive. Stuff like that takes time. It takes time. Even with me, it took time. So I'm still working on, and yes, once we get down that path, look, I've got closer to my African brothers and sisters more than anything now. Look at you, Brother Bakari. You get along with a lot of your African brothers and sisters from the motherland.
Yeah, I do.
And to me, man, that's powerful, man. And that's what I'm saying. In order to be truly liberated, we have to reject a lot of that stuff that was forced on us that impressed us for a long time, and it really has not helped us. That's what I'm saying. I think that's my belief. I could be wrong, but I just feel like that's my belief, and I want to get more. I want to go, and that's what makes me as being an African man. Here in the United States. Everybody else worship their gods and their goddesses and their deities in their own race. We the only race of people that don't do that. We the only race that's still either physically or psychologically sleeping with the enemy. You know what I'm saying? And we thinking that's okay. We thinking that's love. We thinking that's embracing the world, but at the same time we still fighting. So I don't know if that's the case. If why is it George Zimmerman still walking on this planet? So that's the problem. If we truly liberated, George Zimmerman shouldn't be walking on this planet. That's my thoughts. So I know we've been on here for quite some time, and I want to close out. Give y'all closing statements. CJ.
Okay,
Give
man.
your closing statement. Share your thoughts and your closing statement.
Yes, sir, man. I really, appreciate, man, for doing what you did today. This was just like a spur of the moment stream or whatever, and I hit you up because we need to be putting more information like this out. We got a lot of guys, out here, these celebrity YouTubers, man, they on it, going in an entirely different direction. So it's up to us, man, to, still put out these relevant topics. You feel me? So I'm just glad to be here and, sleeping with the enemy, bro. Like, I believe sometimes, man, black people can, be an enemy to themselves almost. Like, I mean, we so busy sleeping with the enemy, like like we already spoke, and we were talking about how Negroes are still in bed with Cracker Jesus, still in
Mhm.
bed with Arab Muhammad, still
Right.
in bed with all of these slave religions. So it's
Right.
like, bro, we know the origins of this, man. We know the origins of this. We know the origins of European civilization. And as far as like when we talk about ancient Greco-Roman culture,
Mm-hmm.
ancient Greco-Roman culture, the deities within that, we know that, it's a very perverted culture with a very perverted religion, that believed in homosexuality, I mean, bestiality, just like the Greek god Pan. I mean, they depicted this man, having sex with the goat.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So just to break it down, bro, like we got to get rid of this Europeanism that's been forced on us, bro. We got to get back home, man. Get back to our natural state, our
Mm-hmm.
natural
Mm-hmm.
mindset. So appreciate it, bro. And I'll pass the microphone to my brother Bakari. Was brother Bakari
Brother
there?
Bakari?
No, I put it in the back, man, that my kid's grandma had called from New York, and I was gonna bring that back.
Okay. You want to say your last words? Because I'm about to close out.
Look, I'm sorry, man, that I was steady going in and out, bro. Please apologize. I apologize. So accept my apology, brother. So I thank you for inviting me. And once again, I do apologize, man, for constantly going in and out like that. But I thank you for inviting me, giving me an opportunity to speak on the panel with you and brother CJ POW. And peace to the chat. I thank y'all for listening. And once again, man, I thank you for having me here, man. One love.
Definitely. I want to show this real quick. And because I know we talked about O.J. Simpson, but I wanted to show you the difference. How the about his what was that moment? I want to show you the difference. Now this is his first. This is him and Becky, Nicole Simpson. But it just weird to me how this man left this woman. Let me see if I can. Let me close out of this one. He left this woman. And I'm gonna just show you how powerful black people are. I mean, this was a powerful picture. Look at OJ and his first wife. That's a beautiful picture. But he left that queen for a white woman. And I always thought that was a beautiful picture, and that shows power. And I just had to show that, of this whole, sleeping with the enemy. We have to be very careful. We have to be very careful who that we try to simulate ourselves, or try to bring people, or bring these demonic people in our race, whether they're either their religion, or in relationships, hell, even the stuff that they eat. We got to be very careful. We got to be very careful to bring their to unite their culture with our culture. It will never work. It will never work. But I want to thank the chat. I want to thank the panel, CJ, Bakari, for coming on and joining me. Like my brother said, this was sparing a moment. And but I'm glad this was a good discussion. We might have another discussion on this because this is really deep. Because we have to be very clear on certain things if we want to be truly liberated. We want to be truly liberated because you cannot be pro-black and still sleep with the enemy. You can't hold on to their ideas. You can't hold on to their religion. You can't hold on to their women or their men. It will never work. It will never work because once you start building a nation, you gotta you know those things gonna somewhere gonna interfere, and it's gonna cause a lot of chaos. It's gonna cause a lot of chaos. Trust me and believe it will. So I want to thanks the people that's watching, and peace and love, and I'll see you again later.